Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Shaukat sir and you are watching your favorite channel Canny English. Dear viewers, as you already know, we are discussing about class. So far, I have provided you two definitions of classes. First was that class is a sentence having one subject and one predicate. And in part second of the series, I told you that class is a part of sentence having one subject and one predicate. So you can now say that clause is a sentence or a part of sentence having one subject and one predicate. After summarizing those two parts, now today let us discuss another definition of clause. So let us start. For this purpose I have written here, dear viewers, 4 sentences. The first sentence, a child loves to play online games. The second sentence, children love to play online games. Third sentence, I love to play online games. And in the fourth sentence, she loves to play online games. Now, let us analyze these sentences. In this sentence, in the first sentence, we have a child which acts as a subject here because we are talking about the child. And the predicate of this child is loves to play online games, as you already know now. But the most important word in this predicate is the verb that is loves here, which is a finite verb. So, dear students, you must know what are finite verbs. Finite verb is a verb that is limited by subject in number and person. What does that mean? Limited by subject in number and person. So in all these sentences we find that I have changed the subject in all these sentences. In the first sentence, a child is a subject, which is a singular subject. In the second sentence, children is the subject, which is a plural subject. In the third sentence, I have changed the subject from noun to a pronoun, and we have the first person pronoun I as subject. And in the fourth sentence, we have the third person pronoun she as the subject. So what I am doing in these sentences? I am changing the subject from noun, singular noun to plural noun, from first person pronoun to third person pronoun. While I am changing the subject, we find that this verb loves, this is changing its form. Sometimes it takes S and sometimes it leaves S. In the first sentence we have loves, in the second sentence we have love, and in the third sentence we have again love, and in the fourth sentence we have love. So sometimes it takes S and sometimes it does not take S. Hence this verb which is changing its form with the subject, this verb we say that actually it is dependent on the subject. We say that it is limited by subject in number and person. What does that mean in number and person? Number means whether the subject is singular subject like in the first sentence, or the plural subject like in the second sentence, or the subject, whether the subject is pronoun, first person pronoun, second person pronoun, or third person pronoun, like the third sentence which has subject as first person pronoun, and in the fourth sentence we have third person pronoun as the subject. So this verb is changing according to the subject. Hence we say that it is limited by subject in number and person. Number, we have the noun as subject, so person we have the pronoun as subject. Hence we call this verb as finite verb. Dear viewers, this verb loves or love, which is changing this form, we call it as finite verb. Also, remember this point that this finite verb actually shows us the tense. Here, loves, love, loves, this shows us the tense, and this is limited by the subject in number and person. But if you see through all these sentences, we find that there is another verb in these sentences, in all these sentences, that is here play. So play in the first sentence, second sentence we have again play, third we have again play, and fourth we have again play. So but this verb play, play is also a verb, but it is not changing its form. Though we have changed the subject in all these sentences, but this verb is not changing the form. Hence we say that this verb is not limited by subject in number and person. Hence this verb is known as non-finite verb. We call this verb as non-finite verb. So we don't have to discuss here about non-finite verb and non-finite verb. So in this series, in this part, I would like to tell you only this thing, that what is a clause now. What is a clause now? In all these sentences we find that we have only one subject and only one finite verb in all these sentences. All these 4 sentences. We have only one subject and only one finite verb. So now another definition of clause. It is that clause is a sentence or a part of sentence. Here these are all sentences. So I can give you an example when we have only a part of sentence as a clause, that I have already given you in part 2nd. So whether a sentence or a part of sentence having one subject and one finite verb, that is known as clause. So that is also known as clause. So we have another definition of clause now, that is a clause is a sentence or a part of sentence having one subject and one finite verb. So I hope I have made my point. So thanks for watching Candy English. Thanks a lot.